Have you ever stumbled upon memory so deep and distant it disturbed you? I did. There are visions that haunt me for many years now. Memories of something very unsettling, yet so familiar at the same time. In this episode, we're gonna talk about Atmosphere of Hellneighbor 3, our AI, and the prototype which you can play. Cozy and eerie, that's how I describe Atmosphere of Hellneighbor 3. While it sounds pretty straightforward, this concept is pretty deep rabbit hole. See, there are certain themes recurring in Hellneighbor and other art I create. Electric poles, transformers, crudely built structures, all that has nostalgic and dreamy atmosphere for a reason. It's because I'm trying to recreate a place that no longer exists. A real-life Ravenbrooks, if you will. It's where everything originates from. Many people faced with a challenging childhood, and I'm very sorry if you are. In this case, having a safe space is really important, either imagined or a real one. In my case, it's both. A real place where I had happiest and safest days of my life. Now, just a memory. When we started to work on Hello Guest, I tried to come up with the art style and the atmosphere. I already knew there would be electric poles, hills, forgotten buildings, but one day a vision struck me. Not the magical one, but a sudden memory popped up in my head. It was so vivid, so familiar, while being unforgettably unsettling. An old house with a tree up close, swinging in the wind, with a billboard buried in its branches. The guard booth was a vague recreation of that vision. The whole atmosphere of Hello Guest was built off of that. Over time, more and more memories of this nature started to appear. I was very intrigued by them, as if I had reached the depth of my subconscious. So familiar, yet very unsettling. So I did a little research to get to the bottom of what haunts me. Turned out, I'm not crazy. There was a specific word for it already. The uncanny is the psychological experience of an event or thing that is unsettling in a way that feels oddly familiar rather than simply mysterious. This meaning was adopted from the work of Sigmund Freud and the German word unheimlich, which describes the concept of eerie familiarity, which literally translates as unhomely. As an infant, we see the world as a very surreal and mysterious place. Since we have very little understanding, it creates these memories of awe and fear, which we tend to forget when we grow up. Not in my case, though. The visions I'm seeing turn out to be the infant memories of my safe place. Now, with the fantastic work of our artists, we put this concept of unhomeliness as an atmospheric foundation for Hellneighbor 3, creating this cozy and eerie world. People on Discord ask, how big will the map be? Well, it depends. We are making every house explorable. If that means a smaller map, so be it. If we can deliver more houses, the map will be bigger. But one thing for sure, there won't be any decorative buildings just to inflate the map. Cozy and Eerie is also about the characters. Each of them got to reflect this feeling of uncanny memory. Here's some of them. There's Iris, this is Jakob, Vandals, the local group of outcasts, and of course, the neighbor. Neighbor and the guest are going to return, and they too get an homely appearance. We'll look at the guest in future episodes. While we're on the subject of characters, let's talk about AI and how we're trying to achieve butterfly effect in Hello Neighbor 3. Here's a quick recap on what game is about. It's a town where strange things happen. Places are abandoned, people keep disappearing, and someone else knocking at your door at night. You have few real-time hours, spanning across multiple in-game days to interact with this world. Everyone in this town living their own life. Someone's preparing for a festival, someone's late for work, someone's looking for their dog, and someone will disappear. Your actions change how events play out. You can save people, solve mysteries, or just leave. Think of it like a time travel game, but instead of rewinding, you load your old save file and see how small changes create different outcomes. So, our plan is to make this all happen procedurally as a system-based sandbox. So, our fantastic engineers and designers coming up with these beautiful concepts. Here's how it works. We use goal-oriented action planning, originally created for the game called Fear by Jeff Orkin. Here's how we use it. Something happens that gives an NPC goal to reach, like to eat if get hungry or hide if there's a threat. When goal is set, we start to walk backward to figure out how can it be achieved. Available actions depend on NPC's memory and abilities. Basically, what they know about the world and what they can do with it. Eat food. Can I do it? No. Food has to be equipped. Okay, do I have food in the inventory? Nope. I have to pick it up. Where can I pick it up? Let's check the memory. Now, having these two possibilities, we check both. To get a cake, got to get to the kitchen. To get a sandwich, got to get to the gas station. Now, all options are on the table. Cost for each action is calculated. In this case, eating a cake much cheaper. Thus NPC will do this. But what if character has multiple goals? Then goal with the highest weight will be picked. Initial weight is predetermined, but also modified by certain factors. Like, hungrier you are, more important to eat. Saving yourself is still more important though. Characters will constantly recalculate their goals and actions to check what's best to do. Here's an engine example. Character has a goal to interact with this object. Let's check our debug widget. We can see his parameters, goal he's trying to achieve, other goals with lower weight, like to eat. But there's no food on this empty map. There you can see two possible ways of achieving current goal. This one he picked, and this one discarded. As you can see, he has to walk to the car, drive it to the object, then interact with it. So he does exactly that. But if we place food here, it will unfold differently. Now, as he walks to the car, he sees food, which immediately makes a goal to decrease hunger a priority, as it's very cheap to take this food right now. Less hungry NPC, faster they move. With this movement speed, this distance is much cheaper on foot, as taking car requires an extra effort. Now, let's look at the interactions between characters. First part is personality traits. Each character has a combination of parameters that define their behavior when they meet others. Second one is relationships between characters. They can be enemies, strangers, or friends. Look, here we have Iris. Now, we're strangers. She greets us on a neutral territory, but will attack us if she sees us in her home, because she's brave and also a defender. This will change relationship status with the player. This will also happen if she sees us with her items. As you can see, after seeing all three items, status changed from stranger to enemy. And of course, throwing items also changed the status. Let's do it different this time and give her some gifts. It can be stuff she likes or stuff she needs for her goals. Nice, now we're friends. And she won't attack us at her home. Due to multiple psychological profiles, characters react differently. Friendly ones won't attack enemies outside of their home, while others will. Look at this pesky vandal. Cowardly characters will run away or ask a friend for backup, like Jakob just did here. Here's a funny example. Iris wants to protect Jakob so much that she escapes her testing chamber, while vandals are not so lucky with escaping. All this is our second prototype, which currently in development. While we're working on it, we want to share with you the one we already finished. This is our first prototype. Initially, it was an internal build. Now we decided to share it with you, as it might be interesting to follow the progress of the development by playing it. It has basic implementation of action planning and general core loop, albeit in a very simple form. And it's also not easy, so if you'll beat it all by yourself, consider it an achievement. Visit our Discord and Steam page to get the prototype. It's funny how much of what we create comes from the places we've been. Even when we moved on, something always pulled us back. Maybe that's the thing about places that shape you. No matter where you go, they never really leave.